This channel is supported by Truefire. Truefire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses. Okay, so I fairly often on like Instagram and stuff like that get asked what I'm using for tones, and oftentimes I think people are not using an HX Stomp or Helix, and so for those guys, I'm kind of like, I'm sorry, but you know, I'm using a Helix. So there's no one pedal necessarily that you can use to kind of copy the entire preset. But if there was one pedal out there that I think is the most close thing that can get me in that ballpark, of course I can sound like me, unfortunately, with almost anything, and it is disappointing when you realise that you just sound like you. But if there's one pedal that can get me like that smooth sustaining lead tone, I think it's the Rockett the Dude. This is a version 1. I bought it. This is not a sponsored video, but I kind of just wanted to shout it out because it is the pedal that is readily available that I think is the closest thing that you can get if you're trying to get, you know, big singing lead tones from what are not the biggest sounding guitars in the world, like Strats, you know, with low output pickups, which is what I use generally. To be honest with you, this pedal doesn't show up very well on camera anyway. Or maybe I'll go into the vibrato channel first of all, because that's, I think, the slightly more problematic part of the Deluxe Reverb, because it's a bit more of a brittle kind of... Here's my clean. And the cool thing with the Dude is that it can basically work with most sort of situations, I find. So in the power. So what I like about this is that it's quite smooth in the top end. Now the real key to this is there's this treble control here, which kind of works like a high pass. And so you can hear that you can dial in a load of that spike if you want. Or dial it back out. And that's what I really like about it, that essentially you can do the shave and a haircut thing. So the other thing you've got going this other side, I think they call it deep or in body or whatever. So this is the kind of opposite where you're going at the lower end. How much low end heft do you want? And so I can really dial in sweet spot, you know, with basically any amp. In terms of the range of gain that we've got, all the way up. We could also push the amp a bit more. So that's going into like the vibrato channel. Now if I go into the normal, the EQ on this is generally a bit different. And even nicer. I don't think there's a bright cap on the normal. So I can maybe afford to bring the deep down a bit and open the treble a bit. And then if it's getting a bit spiky, just bring that back. If there's a downside to this pedal, if you're looking for a really non-compressed thing, then the Dude is actually not really for you. This is quite a smooth, compressed sort of feeling. Even with the like the drive or ratio down low, it is still very has a lot of compression to it, which is great for a lead pedal, but maybe not so good if you're looking for some more, I don't know, dynamic edge of breakup type stuff. Then this is maybe not the pedal for you, but it definitely, for me, definitely has a place. As I say, I think it's quite a smooth, compressed singing. it's a fantastic pedal anyway. So, as I said, not a sponsored video. I've done some stuff for Rockett recently, but this still remains, I think, my favourite pedal of theirs. Also, check out the HRM, which is very similar. You know, they talk about these pedals as if they're like a Dumble type sound. Actually, I think it's a little bit more tameable than like the real Dumble sound, which is actually quite stiff, not necessarily super playable like this, and not as compressed and smooth as this at all. So for me, if there was one drive pedal out there that, as I say, works best with a Strat for getting these more sort of gained up, smooth singing sax type lead tones, I think it's the Rockett the Dude. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. On my board, I've got a 5-watt World bus pedal, which I think maybe works with other pedals a little bit better and stacks with them because it's got more kind of open dynamics and stuff like that. But if it was just a one pedal that I wasn't stacking, the Dude, you know, it's obviously readily available as well. But shout out to the 5-watt World bus pedal as well, which kind of kicked the Dude off of my board, but remains a pedal that I really do appreciate. Cheers for stopping by.